right, back with you here, Pirate Radio Live on a Tuesday. Clip Brock with ECU baseball, past and present. Corey Scott, All-American at East Carolina, to my left, and Jake Hunter, current Pirate, joining us at the table as well. Hello, gentlemen. Jake, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. And Corey, yourself?
Doing good. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all being here. Jake, what's number one on fans' minds is your health right now. So can you kind of just give us an update where you are with this process?
Yeah, so had my MRI like the Wednesday after I got hurt. Kind of just have some damage to my ligament, UCL, so we'll see. Flying out to Texas on Monday, and I'll get another MRI and an X-ray, and then if I need surgery, I'll get it the next day. So just seeing what he's got.
As far as, and it's going to be a long process, but as far as pitching goes, are we thinking 2026 or 2025?
It'd be probably at the most 14 months, so 26.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, and I guess we've talked to Rajay Harry. We've talked to a lot of guys that have had, season-ending injuries and long processes and things like that. As far as the mental side of it, and you seem pretty cool about it right now. Like, are you mentally prepared for the rehab and everything you got to do?
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I've never had a injury where I've been out for months. I mean, I've had a few like broken fingers or whatever, but I mean, I'm just excited to kind of do the next step.
Yeah.
I've kind of just been like waiting around here for the last month or so, but yeah, no, I'm excited to get it going.
Yeah. Corey, I asked you off the air if you suffered any injuries here, and none on the playing field, but maybe a few.
Yeah, luckily I didn't have any playing injuries, so we had a good staff here that took care of us, and, just luckily, by the grace of God, I just didn't have any injuries.
Yeah. Another thing with Corey we were talking about, 22 saves, All-American here at East Carolina, and that is just a number that I don't know if we'll ever see again here at ECU, and I don't know how much we see it across the board in college baseball now. Of course, we go kind of closer by committee here, but that has become more popular even in the big leagues, but you still see traditional closers. But, Corey, we don't see those traditional closers in college baseball a lot anymore.
Yeah, there's so many arms now. There's so many. The staff is so much bigger. There's kids these days are so much stronger. There's so many more kids that can throw. So there's really not a need for just a traditional closer. But in my opinion, there is a need for it. You need to have someone you can rely on that come in and when the game's on the line and be able to shut the door. So someone the kids can trust, your players can trust. It was a big part of our success.
Cliff's philosophy, and I get it, is sometimes you need that guy in the sixth inning when there's runners on, because if it goes away at that point, you might not get a chance to close it in the ninth. So he almost brings in a wide or a DB or a Jake Hunter in the sixth, seventh, or eighth because they need him at that time. So I understand the philosophy behind it.
Yeah, and a lot of people, don't know. 5 or 6 of my saves were 3 innings or more.
Right.
Coach LeClaire would do the same thing. He would put us in, in the 7th inning, and if you could go the 3 innings, he would let you go. But if not, he had someone behind me that could come in.
Jake, I was really bummed out you guys didn't make it to the championship. A, because I hoped you guys would win a championship, but B, I really wanted to see Cam Clonch on the mound, and I heard that was a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, Cam can pitch. It was I played him in high school every year, so he always pitched against my team, and I always pitched against his team. But I mean, I did hit a few doubles off of him. But,
okay.
Cam, you can call in if you want.
But yeah, no, I was all in on seeing him pitch. It would have been really fun.
We have seen one position player come in, of course, Kobe Wallace here late in the year. How about? First of all, what did you see from him previous to us seeing him on the mound? Did you know he could go from the mound?
Yeah, I mean, we saw him a little bit in the fall. He was more of a hitter, though, just kind of seeing what kind of hitting situations he'd go in. But, I mean, obviously when you have some injuries on the staff, you got to see what you got. And, I mean, he looked really good in, like, bullpens and pitcher hitters and all that. So, I mean, he got out there, and he's just the type of kid that it doesn't phase him, whatever situation he's in. So just kind of getting out there, and I mean, he's pitched really good all 3 or 4 times he's been out there.
Corey Scott, Jake Hunter here. Jake, of course, a big part of why East Carolina is where they are right now. We think back to that performance against North Carolina early in the season, Jake, where you shut them down on a Sunday. And look, you've pitched a lot of games in your life, but I don't know. Do you still think back to that one from time to time and how big that moment was?
Yeah, I think that's the most people I've gotten to pitch in front of. So I mean, that was cool. But yeah, that was a good day.
It was a good day, no doubt. So the story right now is, who's available for East Carolina and how healthy will they be and how good will they be when available. So let me run down some names here. Trey Savage spoke with the media yesterday and seemed like the old Trey. Now, we haven't seen him throw since his incident, but how would you say he's doing right now, getting ready for the weekend? He's
doing good. I think he's ready to go, to be honest. I don't really understand all the doctor-y stuff, but I mean, he seems fine from what I'm seeing, so we'll see. We have gotten to see Zach Root make an appearance since he went out earlier in the season, and boy, his couple 3 innings look good. So you feel pretty confident about the lefty up there? Yeah, I think he just kind of got tired in that last inning on, I forgot what day he pitched, but yeah, he looked really good. So I'm excited to see him go back out there this weekend. And then Wyatt, we've seen him a couple times, not the old Wyatt, but is he coming along where you think we'll see Wyatt Lunsford-Shingman at his best at some point the rest of the season? I think so. I think he's been figuring some things out this week, so I think we should get the old Wyatt back. Corey, pitching has been a big part of this team's success. It's a shame that you had this rash of injuries late, but, man, the Pirates still have the pieces to put together a good regional here. They sure do. I'll tell you, one of the things that we learned about this Pirate team is, those pitchers went down when Jake went down as well. The kids gave it all they had. There's a lot of heart on this team, and that starts at the top. Cliff demands that from these kids, and I tell you, they really gave the Pirate Nation all they had, and just to hear Cam Conch is coming in to pitch if we win this game, that just goes to show you that they're going to give it all they got, whoever's up there. No doubt. When you watch Corey or follow this team, do you get flashbacks? Do you see anything with the way Cliff manages, with the way that Coach LeClaire did when you played? Absolutely. There's a lot of similarities between what Cliff does and what Coach LeClaire did. And I try to go on ESPN Plus and watch Eric Backage and Nick Schnabel and, those guys. And you can really just see a lot of Coach LeClaire in those guys. And, you can see a lot of Coach LeClaire in our kids, in our staff, and our players that are playing now, and that's all coming from Cliff, the way he does things. The one thing he does do is have his players back, which is why he got ejected after the Dixon ejection, why the Josh Moylan draw the line in the sand. He got ejected right after that. He will get his players back, and I'm assuming that's a Keith LeClaire trait as well. Absolutely. Coach LeClaire had our backs no matter what. We had Tommy Eason on that staff too, and Tommy Eason would go to fight for us, Literally, if he needed to? Like, literally, we almost got in a fight in Richmond. Tommy Eason knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Jake, that's got to be cool to know that those guys, and man, it was cool to see Bryant Packard coaching first and him get out there, but Palumbo, AK, the whole staff certainly has your guys back 100%. Yeah, it's pretty special. They have our back, we have their back sort of deal. So, everyone's kind of brothers, to be honest. The coaches, all the way down the players to a certain extent. So, Jake, it's almost awkward to ask you guys during the season because fans, media, we look at whether it's a Wednesday in February or, the middle of May, we're thinking about postseason. You guys have to think about the next practice or the next pitch. We're thinking very far out. So let's go to... Well, I guess we'll go Sunday night as you're sitting there. Now, Cliff found out, he said a few minutes before it was announced on Twitter or X or whatever. But as you're sitting there 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. Sunday night, were you thinking we're hosting or were you thinking we're going somewhere? I wasn't really sure. I think we were right on the bubble, which we were. But I think we put ourselves in a pretty good situation early in the year. We kind of scuffled there at the end, but we still managed to win 43 games this regular season. I do think that we did earn the host, but I wasn't really sure.
What's that jolt like when you see it come out that you are hosting and you don't have a situation where, like last year, where you go to Charlottesville, you'll have the Pirate fans, you'll have your own beds, all that stuff. That's got to be a huge boost for you guys.
Oh, it's awesome. I was fortunate to be a part of it in 22 with Coastal and all that one. But it's just so awesome just seeing both sides of it, and I'm excited for the new guys that haven't seen it yet to kind of experience it.
Jake Hunter and Cory Scott joining us here in the Pirate Radio studios. Now, Cory, you look at it from a fan standpoint, so I know you're excited to have him here.
Absolutely. I'm really excited about being able to host. One of the things that you asked just now is about the jolt you get when you see your name come up as the host. We got that jolt. We were the number 1 seed at LSU in 98, and then Louisiana Lafayette the very next year. So those jolts are pretty cool too, to know that you're the number 1 seed at someone else's house. But to be able to have it here is great.
Were you in those games, Cory, that were played at my years run together? I'm sorry, in Wilson or Kinston? Were you involved in those games?
No,
okay.
That was the year after I left. That was 2001. Cliff was here and Chad Tracy and them guys were here, but I had left in 2000.
Which is a reason to for these guys like Jake, the current guys, to really appreciate what they got here now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We always felt like our team's built what we have here, and these guys continue to allow us to have what we have here. So congrats to them.
No doubt. Jake, I know you're a Cliff, as we focus on East Carolina and all that. Have you looked ahead at all to Evansville, to Wake Forest, to VCU? Have you looked at them at all?
I think the coaches have started looking towards Evansville. We're gonna take it one game at a time. We have Evansville on Friday, so that's kind of who we're focused on right now. Because you got to win one game, then you advance to the next one. So, but I don't know. I don't really know anybody on any team. But everyone's good at this point of the year.
Yeah.
We're 64 best teams in college baseball, so it'll be fun.
Have you gone into a Coach Hunter role now? How has your role changed on the team? What are you doing game to game, and how are you helping out the pitchers?
Yeah, I'm bullpen coach right now.
Okay.
Kind of getting guys, telling guys when to warm up, kind of helping out guys like Colby Wallace, figuring out what he needs to do to get warmed up and the situation and what's probably going to happen, what's going to be called. So just kind of help younger guys like that, and of course telling Danny Beal when to warm up.
Yeah. DB is fired up. I know he was fired up Sunday night. We hope to talk to him at some point this week. Will you go to a Trey Savage or a Zach Root and tell them something you noticed, or when they're starting, do you kind of stay out of the way of those guys?
With those two, I don't talk to them at all whenever they're starting that day. They're not in a good mood. They're ready to just if you speak to them wrong, they're probably gonna, I don't even know. Nobody talks to them. They're just, I don't want to say they're grumpy, but they're focused.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You understand that, Cory? You were coming out of the pen late in your career, but you understand hey, don't get in my way.
Yeah, well, I didn't have that until the 9th inning, so I talked to everybody until then.
Cory Scott joining us along with Jake Hunter. Looking forward to an awesome weekend at Clark LeClaire Stadium. And I don't know, Jake, it looks like Cliff hadn't named a starter officially yet, right, for Friday, so I have to wait on that.
I don't think so.
Unless you want to get in trouble and tell us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I figured that's a good answer. But we'll find that out later in the week. And let's talk about some of the bats. Jacob Jenkins Coward, I think, got off to a slow start in Clearwater, and then he got hot, and it was good to see. Carter Cunningham kind of struggled in Clearwater, so we're expecting him to break out. But this Pirate offense, as you know, Jake, can explode at any moment, and we're hoping for some of that this weekend.
Yeah, we showed it on Tuesday. Scored 12 runs in one inning. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It was crazy. I'm not going to take any credit for it, but I did use the bathroom right before. And as I was in the bathroom, he scored 6 runs. So obviously I did not leave the bathroom. It was 12. But
so you stayed in there the whole time?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Okay.
It was terrible. But we did win, so I was all for it.
What is Jake Hunter doing to help the team now? He just answered it.
Yeah.
He's staying in his spot.
Yeah.
Whether that be the toilet or wherever.
Yeah.
If something good is happening, don't move.
Toilet had no AC either. It was terrible. It was so hot.
That's sacrificing, man.
But we won, so I was happy.
That's doing your part. Why the hell didn't you jump back in there on
I
for
did.
Saturday?
It didn't work.
Tried to give it another shot. That was nuts, man. That It all started with that poor right fielder. And we got on that guy a little bit, and then the next day, JC lost one in the sun. It looked brutal out there for those guys.
It's definitely brutal in right field. We had so many drop fly balls from like all tournament. I was like,
Jake, one thing I wanted to ask you about, it was so exciting for us to see, but how was it on the field, and how did it feel when Dixon slid across that home plate?
I didn't even see it, which is the worst part. Like, I didn't even.
Were you in the bathroom still?
No, I was out. I was outside. I think Clonch swung through a pitch or something, make it 0-2, and I was like, oh man, that sucks, because that was like his money pitch that he always hits. And all of a sudden, I hear like everyone start cheering. I look up and Dixon's on home plate. I was like, oh, like what just happened? But no, it was so much fun. I mean, it was exciting just running out there and just celebrating with the team.
I've heard Dixon say, so he did that in the Purple Gold World Series.
Yeah.
You remember
he did
that?
it against my team, yeah.
So you do remember that quite well.
Yeah.
But it's interesting going all the way back to that, because we're talking fall ball at that point, right?
Yeah.
So things from there carrying over to a conference tournament, that was pretty impressive, I thought.
Yeah, crazy. I've never seen anybody steal home, much less for a walk-off steal of home.
Do or die.
Like, I've never.
Yeah.
I've never seen that, but I mean, it was so cool. It was awesome.
So did he have the green light, or is that something Dixon just said?
I don't know. That's a Dixon question.
Yeah.
I think he had the green light, and he was gonna let Cam hit or something, is what he said, and then he just took off once he got 2 strikes.
That's going to be my next question when I see Dixon, Cory, because all he said was Jeff Palumbo said, get down the line. And he said, all right, I'm taking that to mean I'm going all the way down the line. And I want to know what Godwin said to him after the game. Was it a great job, never do that again? Or, awesome, hey, great heady play?
I was wondering if it was a permission or a forgiveness.
Right,
thing,
yeah. I'd rather, ask for forgiveness than permission situation. So there you go.
And I give credit to Clonch. I mean, the ball hit him in the helmet. I would have swung at it or something. I was like, what's going on?
He played his part in that. Everybody has a role to play. Jake Hunter, Cory, you got anything else for Jake?
No, thanks, Jake.
Yeah.
I wish you well, bud.
Yeah.
Really wish our prayers are with you.
No doubt. And Jake will get you on to talk more baseball and more Hornets draft at some point.
Thanks.
All right, bud.